A few years ago, my coworker called me laughing and asked who Lena was. The problem is, I don't know anyone named Lena. At first, I thought he was joking. Earlier that day, I had called him during my lunch break because I needed him to cover part of my shift the next morning. He didn't answer, so I left a normal voicemail. Something like, "Hey, it's Aaron. Call me back when you get this." That was it. Short, maybe 10 seconds. Then I hung up and went back to work. About 3 hours later, he called me back sounding weird. Not scared, more confused than anything. He said, "Dude, I didn't know you were seeing someone." I asked what he meant. He said, "The girl on your voicemail." I honestly thought he meant he heard someone in the background at my job. But then he said, "No," after your message ended. That immediately made no sense. He told me the voicemail kept going after the beep. According to him, there was about 5 seconds of silence after I said goodbye. Then another conversation started. He said it was clearly my voice, not similar, mine. At first, I thought maybe my phone accidentally recorded after I hung up, but the conversation he described made no sense. Apparently, I was talking to some woman about a cabin trip somewhere in Colorado. I was joking around with her, talking casually like we knew each other well. At one point, I told her, "I still need to stop by the garage tonight and finish the Mustang." That part bothered me immediately because I actually was restoring an old Mustang at the time. Very few people even knew that. I drove to my coworker's apartment after work because now I needed to hear it myself. He still had the voicemail saved. We played it 3 times. The first part was normal, my actual message, then silence. Then the second conversation started, and yeah, it was my voice. Same speech patterns, same laugh, same way I paused between sentences. It sounded exactly like me talking on speakerphone with some woman I had never heard before. The weirdest part wasn't even the woman, it was the details. During the conversation, I mentioned the Mustang, my night shift, and even a shoulder injury I had from high school baseball. None of that information was in my voicemail. None of it was public online either. The conversation lasted maybe 30 seconds. Then it cut off suddenly. No static, no corruption, just silence. I remember standing there trying to think of a logical explanation. Phone glitch, crossed signal, corrupted voicemail, something. But my coworker asked me one question I still think about sometimes. He said, "Why did the other version of you sound happier than you do?" That line got under my skin because honestly, he was right. The version of me on that voicemail sounded relaxed, confident, like someone whose life was going well. At the time, my real life absolutely was not. The next morning, I asked my phone provider if corrupted voicemail recordings were possible. The support guy basically treated me like an idiot. He kept repeating that digital voicemails don't randomly splice together conversations from other people, especially not in real time. A few days later, my coworker tried replaying the message again. The extra conversation was gone. The voicemail ended exactly where I remembered hanging up. Just, "Hey, it's Aaron. Call me back when you get this." Nothing else. I know how stupid this sounds, and honestly, if someone else told me this story, I'd probably assume they misheard something or exaggerated it over time. But I heard it myself. Twice, it was my voice, talking about a life that almost matched mine, but not completely. The thing that still bothers me most is the woman, because about 8 months later, I met someone through a friend. Her name was Lena.